Welcome to Bookopolis.com. Bookopolis.com is a website that I use with my classes in grades 3 to 5 to allow students to have the opportunity to rate and review books that they read in the library and to share it with our community of learners and the World Wide Web. Bookopolis is a free website to join for educators where you can set up your classroom or classrooms to be able to log in and rate and review books. So who is this for? This is for parents, teachers, and students. Parents, it gives them the opportunity to see what their children are reading. Students have a platform for sharing the books that they are reading with other children around the world. And for teachers, it gives teachers an opportunity to see what their kids are reading and what they're saying about what they're reading. So I'm going to take you into the main account. This is the dashboard for W.S. Horlock School. As you can see, I have teachers signed up. Currently, we only have 3 classrooms using it as I'm kind of piloting it, but it's going very well. So the rest of the teachers will be getting the demonstration and they will be signing up their children as well. It is very easy to sign up. I created this main account. Teachers have access to all of this. When they go in, they click on their name and they can create students. So I currently only have 3 kids in my class. To add a student is very easy. There is no emails required. All you need to do is type in a name. Pick a username, so it could be any username. For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to do this. Even though when you scroll over top, it does have a safety tip not to include your whole name or other personal information. And teachers get to create a password. And I always say keep the password simple. So now I'm going to save, and that person is now in my account. So when the student signs in, all they need to know is what their username and their password is. Very simple. When I go into that student's world, I am now in Fido's world. Has 0 books, 0 badges. I have 114 friends already, but that's because I'm part of the whole Horlock Bookopolis community, and I already have book ideas. When Fido goes into this account, they get to explore, find an avatar, they have their account information, they can pick which gender they are, what kind of books they enjoy reading, what grade they're in, and they have the opportunity to change the password. However, teachers always have access to that. So I'm going to go back to Fido's world. When they get started, if they're in the process of reading a book and they would like to add a book, they can go to Quick Actions, add a book, type in the title, and eventually, and it pops up. So there are 3 books. We're going to pick the first one, and I'm going to add it to my books. It's going to ask me if I've read it, if I'm reading it now, or if I want to read it. This allows students to have an opportunity to create a list of books that they would like to read at some point, or to save it to the fact that they're still reading it. But if they've clicked on yes, I have read it, more options come up. Reading it now or I want to read it just saves it for them. So now I've picked a badge. I get to pick a badge because I'm doing my first book. And here I have the opportunity to write my review. Now, obviously, I have the students write something a little bit more than that, but for the sake of timing, I will just do very quickly. I can give it a rating of 5 stars. Now, it always gives me little tips. Don't forget to save your work, which is what the kids like. These are reviews. There are 3 other options for students. They can do a book buzz, where they can do a short summary, write about the best part, why you have read it, what level you think it's at, the student thinks it's at, and where do you think this book falls under. A lot of this is for Bookopolis to make sure that if students are reading kind of the same genre, when they predict or decide what kind of book you would like, this book might pop up. And there's always the whole don't forget to save your work. They can also do a report on a book. Now, the book reports have 3 different levels. So grade 3s might work at a level 1. Grade 4 to 5s might work at a level 2 and go with that question. And grades 5 and up might go to a level 3. And here they have the opportunity to answer questions about the book. Where does it take place? If you're going to rewrite the story, where would you have it take place? If the story had taken place in a different country, planet, setting, how would it be different? And there are 4 questions that they are to answer, and they can submit that. The last option that students have is to recommend the book, and they can search for a friend, and their friends show up, and they can choose to say why they think I should read this book, or they can put it on here. But I'm going to go back to my review, and I'm going to save it. So now, what I do like about this is this review does not show up instantly. Now, you can earn points for your reports, but it doesn't show up instantly. And the reason being is because it has to be approved by the moderator. So this gets sent, the review gets sent back to Bookopolis. A moderator reads it. If they feel that it is a worthy comment and it has enough content and there's nothing inappropriate in it, then they will add it to the reviews and it will show up in this screen here. I have had the moderator email me once with a review that was rejected due to the fact that the student just used emoticons and exclamation marks, and there was no content to the review, and therefore the review was rejected. That was a great teaching tool. I sent the rejection letter on to the teacher, who then had a discussion with her student about appropriate content being on the web, which is a great digital citizenship piece. So that is how it is set up. But let's look and see how it looks in an actual classroom. So I'm going to go back to the teacher account, and I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and we're going to go down to a class that has everything set up. So these are all of the students in the class. Now, Mr. Figge, when he's going through his Bookopolis class, he has this great toolbar on the side that he can get instant data about his students. So he can go and click on Monitor Student Work. He can search by reviews, how many reviews have been done, how many reports have been done. If they're using the reading logs, what are the reading logs looking like? How many students have done recommendations? And the AMP books is a different section that I am doing separately with the classes. But if he wants to look at a quick snapshot of his class, he can select dates. So I'm just going to go to the 1st of September, just because it's easiest. December 5th is today. We're going to update the data. He knows that 62 books have been read in his class. 48 have been reviewed. Now, they obviously are not doing the reading logs, which is fine. He can export that data and share it with the class. He can do with it whatever he wants. He can also view the class book reviews. So as you go in, all of the reviews start to show up. So he knows the students that are currently that have book reports out there. So he can go down and see what they're writing about the books. So we're going to go back and let's see what it looks like for a student. So we're going to go down and we're going to go to Simran's world. So Simran has created a world already. She has her avatar. She has the books that she's reading. She has badges that she's claimed. She has 114 friends, which is just part of our school's community, Bookopolis. And here are some book suggestions for Simran to read. She has a total of 275 points, 28 friends, 7 book ratings, 25 books on her shelf, and she's done 9 book reviews. So when I go into Simran's world, which I have access to and everybody has access to, so if we go into Simran's world in her up here, we can look at the books that she's reading. She's currently reading right now this Ever After High book, And she has read 9 books, and she has a nice wish list of 15 books that she's choosing to read. Now, if we click on the books that she's already read, we can show them all. And if we click on a book, it gives a summary that Bookopolis has created for the book. You can choose to read more of the summary. It tells you the grade level, the interest grade level, the Lexile numbers, and there's no guided reading associated to it. But if we go into reviews, we know there are 24 reviews done on this book. Here is Simran's review, and she's written out about why she's loved this book, which is great. Down here are the other 24 reviews that were created by students. What I really like about this is that it just states that a Bookopolis reader rated it. There are no student names associated with the comments if it's not an approved friend. So these are somebody outside of our school's Bookopolis community. But you can see what other students have written about the book, and you can choose to like it as well. So I'm going to go back to the previous page. This is a book that I know her class read together as a read aloud. When I go in, again, the summary gives you the grade level, interest grade level, Lexile, guided reading. And then when I go into reviews, she's written her review, but her friend reviews are also noted, and those have the student names attached because those are friends within our school community and that all of our accounts are associated with. So she can go through and see what all of her friends are saying about the book. And then down here, there are 2 Bookopolis readers, so students that have done it. And then if there are parent and teacher reviews, those names will show up as well. So this is what the students have the opportunity to work with within this website. When we go back to the Bookopolis main page, let's talk a little bit about the terms and agreements that are there. So we're going to go down to terms. What I really enjoyed was that it is written for parents and for teachers, so in an English that everybody understands. It does have a privacy policy, which we will look at in a little bit, and it has the terms of service agreement as well. I really like the definitions and terms. It explains what's a visitor, a child member, a parent member, a teacher member, everything that is there. To be a member, if you are under the age of 13, you have to be parent or teacher approved in Bookopolis. But being teacher approved doesn't mean that a student can have access online, because our parents do have to fill out media release forms stating whether or not they can have an online identity. What I really like too is the user commitment, keeping it safe, clean, and fun, which is where it is nice that the Bookopolis will moderate comments before actually getting them posted. And comments are usually posted within 24 to 48 hours of being submitted. There are rules of conduct in Bookopolis. This can very easily be posted in a classroom because it is easy to understand. And I really like, something you don't want your mother, somebody else's mother, to read. You can report comments that you deem are not appropriate for being on this site. The other thing is the user responsibility. They monitor all of the content displayed, which means that there is very little that comes in. I haven't seen anything. I've never come across anything that wouldn't be acceptable for students. One thing though is that the students need to understand that whatever they put onto the site belongs to Bookopolis.com. It is their ideas, but because of them posting it on there, it belongs to Bookopolis.com. There's a lot about copyright, but that would be very general and generic to all. And other than this, this is the legalese part that makes it difficult. I really enjoyed how they said that it is required that all sections be in caps because the law requests that this disclaimer means to be conspicuous. And we're sorry if you feel like you're screaming at you. I really enjoy this site for our library